Rev up your engines!
Well, poor Elon. Tesla sales are tanking all over the world. Everyone's buying less of them. Even in California, Tesla has had an 11.6% decline in January. In Germany, Tesla used to be the sales leader. Their sales declined 60% in January. They also dropped 10% in Britain. And in China, they dropped 11.5%. Now, what you got to understand is there's only so long that Tesla can make their profit through weird ways like Bitcoin, right? Tesla company bought a bunch of Bitcoin. So a lot of their profit was the value of Bitcoin going up. Has nothing to do with making cars. Another profit one is carbon credits. They get a ton of money from carbon credits. And of course, Elon and the promises about artificial intelligence that keeps the stock up. But a lot of that is promises that are never fulfilled. And now, guess what? Tesla is starting to tank. And probably with Trump in, not pushing electric cars, but saying this, why should we put government money into this crap? That's not going to help them out much either. They get a ton of money from carbon credits, which is the total BS. We don't cut trees down in Brazil, so there's oxygen being made. There's a carbon credit. Oh, we make electric cars that don't pollute. His factories pollute. Mining lithium pollutes. All this stuff pollutes. And the fact that they get paid money for that is just patently absurd. Well, here's an interesting report. Elon's Cybertrucks are more deadly than the infamous Ford Pintos. Now, if you're not old enough to remember the Ford Pinto, problem they had was they put the gas tank at the back, and when they got rear-ended, boom, they'd go up in flames. And the last things you want to do in your car is go up in flames. Kind of interesting they compared that to a Tesla that will often go up in flames for a different reason because they have lithium batteries. But an auto news website that's called Fuel Arc said after 1 year of existence, 34,000 Cybertrucks had 5 fire fatalities, giving them a rate of 14.5 fatalities per 100,000 units. Now you might think, what does that mean? Well, guess what? That is 17 times the fatality rate of the Ford Pintos. So they're 17 times more likely to go up in flames than the Ford Pintos, which they said those are unsafe because of that. The Pinto fatality rate was only 0.85 per 100,000 units. The Cybertrucks are 14.5 per 100,000 units. And interestingly enough, there is another commonality between the Pinto and the Cybertruck because way back in 1977, a study of the Ford Pintos showed that Ford rushed to create and distribute the Ford Pintos to beat the competition, even though their testing showed that the Pinto was unsafe due to the flawed placement of the gas tank. Well, you remember the Cybertruck, old Elon was promising it and promising it, and finally he had to get it out, so he rushed it out in production before its time. So hey, here we got Ford Pinto Cybertruck. Some commonalities going on here. Both are proving to be rather clunker vehicles in their own way. Well, a huge car wash company's filing for bankruptcy. You've probably seen them. Zips Car Wash, right? Now, why are they filing for bankruptcy? Don't people want to have their cars clean? Maybe they don't care about dirty cars anymore. A sign of a bad economy. People are so worried about money and stuff, they're not even going to pay money to wash their car. They'll run the same whether it's dirty or not. Who cares, right? I know people that are like that anyways. They don't give a rat's behind about what their car looks like. To me, it's all disgusting. Right? They go bankrupt because they don't want to pay their bills. For example, with Zips Car Wash, they have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with a pre-negotiated restructuring transaction that will reduce the debtor's outstanding funded debt by $279 million. I think it's disgusting that they even have these Chapter 11 bankruptcies. People run companies, they ran up debts, and oh no, we can't pay those, blah, blah, and then they continue to operate as a business. It's just totally disgusting that that's even allowed, right? I mean, how disgusting. They should say, okay, you're out. You're out of business. You can sell all your car washes, see if anybody wants to buy them. It's a bad example for everything in our society. People screw up and they get bailed out. Why should they be bailed out? They screwed up. They owe people money for stuff. So, hey, all I got to say is, on all these people, hey, people don't want to use your car wash, just too bad. Go out of business. Somebody else will take your place, or maybe we'll just run around with dirty cars, or do like me, I wash my own cars. It's not that hard to do, especially if you get a pressure washer. You can do it yourself, do a better job than those car washers do, and you won't scratch the paint because you're not going through a machine that has those big flappers that clean your car that are full of dirt. And all that dirt is scratching your paint. If you go to car washes that have things that flap to clean and dry, and most of them do. Those are dirty. They don't clean them off. It'd be like you're the 800th person today to have your car washed by this dirty scrubber, of course, and it does what's called micro scratches, and it ruins your paint. So I don't use car washes at all, unless I'm somewhere where there's a bunch of salt, and you better at least get the salt off the car in the winter than having it rotting your car away. But hey, anytime the weather's good, I'm going to clean it myself. Well, now that we seem to be putting tariffs on China, the Chinese are going tit for tat, and they're putting tariffs on U.S. stuff. But the thing is, all the stuff is nit and picky. Well, we'll tariff this, we'll tariff that, because listen to this. Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods include a 15% border tax on imports of U.S. coal and liquefied natural gas, and a 10% tariff on American crude oil, agriculture machinery, and large engine cars. I guess not small engine cars. I don't really know. Now, the hilarious thing is, they're putting a tariff on U.S. coal. China has so much coal, and they import such a tiny amount from the U.S., it's minimal. China uses 4 billion metric tons of coal a year. 4 billion. And what are they importing from the United States? 40 million. That's peanuts. 40 million versus 4 billion, right? Takes 1,000 million to make a billion, and they import 40 million from us. So let's just take the facts. It doesn't mean squat. And of course, now China's also saying, well, we might stop you importing all these rare metals that we have control of, and we're not going to sell them to you. Now, China doesn't necessarily have it in China. They're going around the world, Africa, South America, and they're buying up mineral rights and making their own little towns with mines and factories to get the stuff. But they control it, right? So they're fighting back. I don't think they're not going to fight back. But as per usual, this will end up being on the bargaining table, because after all, China is no longer a communist country. It is a capitalist dictatorship, also known as fascism. Mussolini, they had the same type of system. It's a capitalist dictatorship known as fascism. People always say, you're a fascist, you're a fascist. It has different connotations, but the real definition is a capitalist society controlled by a dictatorship, and that's what it is, right? So there's deals going to be going on all over the place, and they said, we're going to tariff large engine cars. Why not small ones too? Who knows? This whole thing is getting to almost to a point of comical absurdity of what actually is going to come out. Well, here's why you can't trust dealerships. They will do anything, especially used car dealerships. A couple in Florida said that, hey, they saw this Honda CR-V. They wanted 7,800. They got them down to 6,800. And then they found out that they were getting a $21,000 bill where that loan was taken out at 20% interest for the car that they said was $6,800. Now, this is some sleazy used car lot in Florida called Cars to Go. Turns out that people would check the Better Business Bureau. They see they had a really bad low rating because people had complained about them. Now, one, I don't advise going to used car lots anyways. Most of them are scumbags. They buy something cheap, try to double, triple, quadruple what they paid for it, put as is, no warranty, knowing that they're clunkers, right? Well, in this case, it looks like they were preying on people who didn't speak English very well, because they got them in there and they got them to sign an agreement that they probably couldn't even read because they didn't read English and they didn't speak it either. And then they find out, here's this loan for 21 grand. Now, of course, the dealership denied all allegations and said, oh no, they understood it all. And we have electronic signatures. It's another thing, electronic signatures. Hey, those things can be faked so easily. It's just absurd these days. I wonder why that stuff can even be seen as being legal. Don, we have an electronic signature. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, the da-da little line, right? You got to be real leery of these people. They're going to try to pull fast ones on you. And they ended up repossessing the car anyways from her. They said, if you don't want to pay, keep the car. We'll repo it. And they later repossessed it. You've got to watch out for these people. They will pull fast ones over you. One, my advice is stay away from these little lots anyways. Unless it's somebody you know, a friend bought one there and they had a good deal, because there are so many of these fast and furious used car lots out there that'll pull any kind of wool over people's eyes, and especially take advantage of people that don't speak or read English very well. Right? As I've advised people, if you know somebody, like, go with them, read the thing for them. See what they're signing up for, because these guys will pull a fast one as fast as they can. Then they say, oh no, we have electronic signatures. Look, you can't trust those people, and you certainly don't want to deal with people that are that sleazy that they saw the ad for this and they were only asking $7,800 in the ad. It said $7,800, right? And then they pretend, oh no, that's only the down payment. You know, this is the rest. A bunch of nonsense. There's a lot of scumbags out there. You want to stay away from them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.